How we all doing today? We are in August, first week of August, and I can't believe it's August already. But here we are, gonna do container garden, veggie garden tour number 4, I believe. So there's my puppy Nala. And she's about 2.5 years old. Hey, pretty girl. So we just moved this pepper today as it got shaded out. And there's the onion bed. The onions didn't get quite as big as we had hoped. And I do always struggle getting onion bulbs to bulb up. I know they like sulfur, and I'm not sure what else I'm missing. Maybe more potassium would be my guess for the rooting crop. We'll see. So just a quick pan of the rest of the container garden. And as you can see, everything is growing pretty well. So last week everything was starting to yellow out and die off, and I know that I've been trying to do every 4 weeks a little top dressing of some dry amendments, and apparently I'm still planted too dense and I need to use a little bit more or top dress more often. So I'm finding out probably every 3 weeks. So you can see the zucchini plant is gone. Unfortunately, the vine borers killed it and we only got 1 or 2 zucchini off of it. But it got replanted with cabbage, and in a couple weeks we should have cabbage popping up there. So still have the flowers, and then you can see the top growth on the cucumbers is finally greening up and not looking blotchy, and that's just a lack of nutrients in the soil. Mostly available nutrients. There probably is still some there, but they were probably not available. But still, everything's flowering and fruiting, so it takes up a lot more nutrients. So these are all in a SIPS bed, and I got several containers here. Here's another cabbage I started. Here's some lettuce I started in one of my Easy Swap pots. And then I've had my peppers in here with some beets. Here's one pepper. You can see it's laying over. It's got a fairly large pepper there that's pulling it over. And another pepper right there. So that was where that one pepper is, and now it is right there. Like, again, shaded out the tomato plant, and the cucumbers climbing up really shaded it out. Here's a pepper plant in a 10-gallon pot. Looking good. So I've noticed the peppers seem to be doing fine in 10 gallons. You can see I got a ring of onions around that. Here's a couple of the green stripe Roma tomatoes in a 50 or 60 gallon pot. Fabric. This one I've had probably 5 or 6 years already. Keep reusing it. There you can see some are starting to redden up. We got a basil pot, holy basil. Honestly, I'm not even sure what I'm gonna do with it, but I started a bunch for to sell, and then I just planted it when everything closed down. And I left the tomato grow in there. We'll see what happens. Look at this okra. Now this one I'm really excited for. Maybe not as excited to eat, but I'm just really excited to watch this thing flower. Don't know what the flowers look like, and I certainly don't know. Well, I know what okra looks like, but I'm not sure exactly how it all sets on there. So I'm excited just to see it grow, and it's growing up lovely. Here are a bunch of potatoes in 10-gallon pots in 100% compost. You can see they're doing well. I did top dress some amendments, mostly on the phosphorus and potassium heavy side, as the compost is going to be heavy in nitrogen. Started a 10-gallon pot of bush beans again, and then I got another container full of compost that is starting a bush squash, winter squash. So that's really exciting. Here you can see these massive solar collectors. I can't remember what this is. I'm assuming a pumpkin. Look at these flowers though. absolutely huge. The bumblebees literally look like they've been rolling around in a sandbox of pollen. That plant is doing well. There's some potato flowers. There's some banana peppers. I think they're hot banana peppers, or a form of hot banana peppers. So in here we have another vine. Again, not 100% sure what it is. I can't get in there. I used to have a path right here to walk in through to pick and harvest. You can see that is gone. My cucumber, bush cucumber, was really yellowing out. It really badly needed a top dressing. It's slowly starting to come back. You can see we still have some cucumbers on it though, but not getting as much, but that won't take long to turn around. Here you can see I harvested the peas. I actually just planted more peas this week, so we'll have a fall harvest of peas here. The potato plant was dying completely back. You can see it looks gross. Again, it's a sign of running out of nutrients. Like, it doesn't make sense for it to be dying out this early. They weren't in there that long. So top dress some nutrients and I'm starting to see lots of green. Right there's a good sign. It's still alive and it's gonna do hopefully more. So here we have a cantaloupe in a 15-gallon pot, and I should mention too, this potato is in a 20-gallon pot. So I'm trying to get that information out to you so that everyone understands that the size I'm growing in and how things are growing. You can see we've got a nice cantaloupe there, a baby cantaloupe next side of it. I want to say we have another, oh yeah, right here, another cantaloupe. So in a 15-gallon container we've got 3 cantaloupe, plus some onions, some carrots. Here's a 15-gallon container in the bush beans. You can see these bush beans look absolutely amazing. We're getting about a quart a week off of it. So we don't have as many. I just picked it Monday or Tuesday when we got back. But we still have some to pick here, and some, I don't know if you can see those. Oh yeah, there they are. Here's a, I think they're the Federelli or Federelle Roma tomatoes here, and this plant is growing well. You can see they're slowly starting to turn red. Look at the size of these things. They are huge. Just massive. I've got some even down here that are sitting on another container. Oh man, hopefully that does its justice. And that's in a 20-gallon, and then I've got a pepper plant in here in a 15-gallon. And you can see there's all sorts of peppers. We've picked a ton. We've been pickling quail eggs and cucumbers. So here's another Roma plant, green stripe Roma. You see the green stripes in it, and then it gets this blush pink red undertone. It's pretty much ready. But this thing is in a 20-gallon container and being top dressed with just a handful of dry amendments once every 4 weeks. And there's a lot of tomatoes set on that thing, and it's looking really good. Here's a potato in a 7-gallon easy swap pot. This one too, let's see, right here. You can see it died back and it needed nutrients. I top dressed it, it's growing again. I was about to harvest it. I was like, ah man, it just doesn't make sense. So we'll see what it does a little later in the year. Here's another tomato, and I don't remember exactly what kind it is. It's not doing that great. I do have about 5 or 6 of these pole beans in the same container. And as you can see, they're growing huge and flowering, sucking some nutrients I'm sure too, but the new growth looks good, and I did give it a top dressing, so hopefully it comes back. Not as many tomatoes as I wished on that one. Here's my sips in the fish tanks. These are all in 5-gallon Easy Swap pots, and the front carrots are in 3-gallon. And I do have to fill that up a lot more than I think. And the carrots got top dressed. And then we've got all this. We got peppers in these 5 gallons. Sorry for the shadowing. And then we've got the pole beans in with the 5 gallons with some pepper plants in there. They seem to be doing pretty darn good. So I expect to be able to pick a lot of pole beans next week. And I'm sure once I get down to my other garden, I'll be picking pole beans there this weekend, so not a big deal. Here's a cucumber. And there's a cucumber on the panel. And that's just the start. We got a whole another month and a half of this. And another cucumber, just found it. Anyways, it's exciting. Everything is starting to come into full bloom. And then it's also exhausting thinking of getting this all packed away so we can eat it later and still eat it fresh. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you got any questions, always drop them in the comments. We'll talk to you later.